Hey, we're in Dodge City in a little train station. What a cool town this is. I mean, this is real stuff. Look at this old pot-bellied stove. Actually, it's made right now, and we could almost build a fire today and get more comfortable. Hey, here's a winning tip for you. I don't know about you, but if I'm pursuing something, whether it be athletics or business or whatever you ladies want to cook. My wife and daughter are great cooks, and so they love to put great meals together. Whatever it is, you need tips. Well, here's a championship tip for you. It was the 70s, and I'll make a long story short, that the top 15 cowboys in the world were invited to the Jeff Copenhaver calf roping, they called it. And it was going to be a match style, a tournament style, 16 top 15 plus the college champion. Everybody drew out of a hat who matched who, 8 matches, 4 matches, 2 match, and then the final match. Well, and it paid $15,000. Well, $15,000 in the mid-70s would buy you 2 brand new loaded pickups. So that'd be like $80,000 or $90,000 now. So, but that was the good news. We were excited. The bad news is I was opening a power chute gate. I had my hand on the end of the chute gate here, this hand on the gate lever, and when I let this calf out for this guy, I went boom, and this power gate went bam, like that, and it cut the end of this finger off. It was just right there, went boom, and it started bleeding like crazy. And my calf roping friend, we wrapped something around, and he hauls me to the doctor going about 9:0, and I told him, slow down, we don't need to die over my finger, right? But anyway, so they get there, and they transplanted a piece of skin from my forearm to the end of this finger, sewed it on, tried to get it, functioning. Well, in the meantime, I got to decide now if I'm going to rope in this roping. And Dallas Cowboy running back Walt Garrison, he said, well, you going to try to do this, Jeff? And I said, well, give me a day or two. A couple of days later, I decided I'm going to go for it. So now I have a doctor build an aluminum guard for it, and away we go. So I got into my first match, but here's what was kind of amazing. As I began to rope, I was thinking more about, well, how am I going to rope and use this finger and this aluminum guard, functionally. So you get off the right, you flank, and it's tricky getting your hooey. So I was kind of a deal trying to make a roping run with my handicap. And but nonetheless, I won my first match. I won my second match. The second match, I'd had a dream the night before that the guy I was competing with was going to break a rope. Sure enough, he did. He broke a rope, and I won that match. Go into the third match, and my calf, at some point when I reached down there, I got my hand on his front leg, he kicks my finger, and he kicks the end of that finger off again. So now I'm back where I was. The doctor came down out of the stands at Cowtown Coliseum, Fort Worth, gave me 4 shots in the vein with morphine, tried to just cover it up a little bit with tape and whatnot, and tape my hand together, and away we went. Well, I roped 2 more calves, and the Gary Ledford that I was roping, we tied to the 10th, so then we had to have a rope off, and as it turned out, I had to be 8-something on my last one to beat him, and I broke the barrier. I was 8-something and broke the barrier. So, but nonetheless, I made it within just a 10th, because him and I tied, of going to the finals with that handicap. Now, my point being is I had a severe disadvantage. Well, I read a book about David and Goliath the other day, and in this David and Goliath book, this guy says, look, David was a sling thrower. Goliath thought that he had this advantage because he was 9'9" and he was a champion fighter, all this stuff. But guess what? David was a sling thrower, and those people in Israel, mighty men of valor, and David and those guys could throw a sling at 135 to 150 miles an hour with a rock that big around. That's worse than I'd rather have a 44 Magnum hit me between the eyes than a rock that size at that speed. So the thing is, Goliath didn't realize that his advantage was actually his disadvantage. He was big, he was slow, and he was a standing target for a guy that knew how to throw a sling. And David's disadvantage, guess what? His size, he wasn't a giant. Hey, ended up being his advantage because he was mobile, he was faster, and it worked to his advantage. Now, so there's my story. Actually, it was an advantage because all I was focusing on, I got to rope these calves. I got to figure out how to tie this calf with this finger. Forget these guys I'm roping against. They got their own calves to rope. And it actually helped because it took the pressure of competition off of me. See, tip for you, champion. Your disadvantages can be your greatest advantage. You don't have much money, and you say, oh, I don't have the money to rodeo, or you don't have the money to do this sport, or take up golf, or whatever the dream in your heart is, whatever I believe God has placed in your heart, it's there, but it seems so impossible. Well, guess what? If you don't have money, you got something greater. You got heart. Heart trumps finances. Even heart, what's in your heart, and God with you in that, if God before you, who can be against you, that trumps difficulties. It trumps our obstacle. It's greater. It's a greater entity. So look, whatever your disadvantage is, maybe you need to get a new perspective on it. I wasn't a big calfer. I wasn't a big guy. I'm 5'10" with my boots on, okay? In my era, all the guys, they were roping great big calves. They were 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 210, 220, 230. These are all football players looking guys, the best calf ropers. But guess what I did? I learned how to flank a calf with your back arched, and how to use your power in your body, and not have to be huge. So I could flank a monster-sized calf, and everybody go, well, how does he do that? Well, my disadvantage, I turned it into an advantage by just getting maybe that's what you need for your business or your life. You just need a wisdom tip. God just might give you that little bit of wisdom and show you how to overcome your situation. So, hey, champion, your disadvantage could be your greatest advantage, and your advantage might be your biggest disadvantage. Check it out. God wants you to win.